What's going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde from blueandgold.com discussing a new commitment for the Fighting Irish from Massachusetts, Preston Zinter, athlete. From that area, about 6'3", 220 pounds. We're going to talk about him in this video. Before we do, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel here at Blue and Gold on YouTube if you haven't yet. And of course, blueandgold.com is your home of all things Notre Dame athletics. Sign up for $1 for 1 year of premium access. Best deal around. You're not going to beat it. All right, Tim. Preston Zinter commits to Notre Dame, the 9th commitment of the Fighting Irish class. Tim, when I said, hey, let's do a video talking about Preston Zinter, he started doing research on him. What were kind of your impressions of seeing him on film?
Well, the first thing is big improvement from a sophomore to junior year. Obviously, we got his junior film right here. Big improvement. I thought he got bigger. He looks a little bit taller than his sophomore film. I think he's a good, solid, explosive football player who, he's a hybrid, so to speak. What is he going to play? I think that's going to be Coach Freeman and those guys is to figure that out. He looks right here, Viper. He's the weak side rush end. Me personally, I think that would be a great position for him to develop in over the next 4 years. Is he an H-back? Notre Dame doesn't do a lot of H-backs in general, so can he play tight end? Who knows? I mean, Notre Dame just stacks up with 6'5" plus type guys, it seems like. So he's probably not tall enough to play tight end, which then can he play middle linebacker, which some of these is. I think he's a hybrid between a Mike and a Viper. I really like him. I like his explosiveness. I think he's a little undervalued as well with his the way he's a multi-positional type football player. And it's funny. I started watching between a sophomore and junior year, and the first thing I thought about was Eli Raritan, his blowing up this past year. I think Zinder is going to be a Raritan type guy who I think will be in the top 200, top 250 probably when it's all said and done, I feel, after his camps and after another big senior year and going into the All-Star game next year.
Yeah, so my understanding, Tim, of Notre Dame's take of Zinter is athlete, bring him in, kind of figure it out with a expectation maybe that he would start playing one of the linebacker spots, whether that's Mike, Will, or even Rover. What's your reaction to hearing that? I mean, I even talked to his high school coach this week, and he told me that he likes some more at the defensive side of the ball, but my sources on the Notre Dame side of things are not ruling out Zinter playing on offense either as an H-back, like you mentioned.
Well, a couple of things. The first, when you watch him at tight end, the first guy I thought about was Tommy Tremble. Just athleticism. He has some blocks out here, and when he's pulling that are just violent, pancake. And there's one coming up right here. He has a couple out there. First guy I thought about was Tommy Tremble on offense. And then defense, I went a little old school. I went back to the Bob Davie heyday year when they brought in a young DB who ended up being an NFL linebacker, Rocky Boyman. For some reason, I thought of Rocky Boyman back in the heyday during the Bob Davie years. The way he plays, his pad level, his hands, very, very violent point of attack, really aggressive. He's got that strong safety, will linebacker athleticism to probably grow into and be a Mike and a Will. So great, what his high school coach said. And real quick, their high school, they went undefeated this year, won the state championship. He's one of the premier high schools that produce Division I football players a lot out there at Catholic Memorial out in Boston. So he's well coached. You just watch his football film. Outstanding fundamentals. I wouldn't be surprised if he is a Mike Will type of a guy and the type of guys they've had playing there. A Drew White, a JD Bertrand. I don't know if he's as explosive as Ziegler is, who's going to probably be the rover for them out there, but good, solid interior, front seven type of a body, which they're going to find a landing spot for him.
Should be noted his older brother, Zach Zinter, offensive lineman from Michigan, who Notre Dame was recruiting, didn't quite work out, and he goes to Michigan. Hey, if older brother ever enters the transfer portal, I mean, I think Notre Dame would be a likely landing spot. So not to throw a crazy conspiracy, but maybe something to just keep an eye on. We were talking before we started recording, Tim, that a lot of the folks on the loose emoji message board at blueandgold.com are saying, oh, is Zinter, going to win us a national championship? Like, I don't see him, as that type of player. My response is, well, one, look at his offer list. He has Georgia, Ohio
Mhm.
State, LSU, programs that all have won national championships here in the past decade. And two, not every single player Notre Dame is going to recruit is, or Alabama, or Ohio State for that matter, all these other schools are going to recruit just straight bona fide 5-star studs across the board. Like, I'll point to someone like Kurt Heinisch. Like, you need that kind of dude, blue collar, lunch pail kind of guy on your football team. I think Preston Zinter, maybe he doesn't have 5-star type upside, but if you look at his versatility, we saw him line up over a slot receiver and
Mhm.
pick off a pass in the flats. I mean, like, he's just a good football player.
Oh no, I agree. You mentioned national championship, and every recruit, can he beat Alabama? Can they beat Georgia? Yeah, just in that question, the last 30 seconds, I instantly thought of Frank Stamms, the All American outside linebacker on the '88 national championship team, who was recruited to Notre Dame as a fullback. When he was recruited to play fullback, did people think, oh, he's going to lead us to the national championship? No, he ended up moving to the rush end and being a first team All American. I just instantly thought of him in that question right there. You know what? He comes from a hard nosed Catholic powerhouse in Boston, tough area in Roxbury, where the school is. Good football. And I am another thing, I'm a firm believer in the more tough guys. You can never have enough tough guys. When you're
Right.
getting tough guys, you're getting high achievers from a great Catholic high school. That is never a bad thing at the University of Notre Dame. And the more you get of those guys, the more they're willing to work, grind, and then you mix in those four, high 5 stars that Marcus Freeman and the recruiting coaches that he's bringing in. They're going to get a handful of those guys. And when you get those effort guys, that leads to good things on Saturday afternoons.
All right, let's take a quick look at Notre Dame's 2023 commitment list. The headliner, Keon Keeley, number 21 player in the country. On three's own rankings have him as a 5-star player. Look at Drake Bowen, Peyton Bowen, no relation, both right around top 50 players. Brennan Vernon, a top 100 player. Notre Dame signed 3 top 100 players in the 2022 class per the On 3 consensus. So far, through 9 commitments, Notre Dame already has 4 top 100 players. 8 of the 9 players ranked as 4-star players per the On 3 consensus. Zinter was a 4-star per the On 3 consensus, and then On 3's own rankings graded him at an 86 3-star, which dropped him down to 3-star according to that consensus ranking. Which equally weighs the 4 major recruiting websites. But if things hold where Zinter's at number 433 nationally, he will be a 4-star player at the end of the cycle. It's top 450 players receive a 4-star ranking, according to the On 3 consensus. Kind of some nerdy numbers there. But as you look at this class so far, it's obviously defensive heavy. You got 2 linebackers, if we're going to call Zinter a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
You got these 3 outstanding defensive backs. You got Keon Keeley and Brennan Vernon, a fantastic tight end who Alabama is hoping to flip. You have Cedric Irvin, one of the better running backs in the class. I mean, it's about as good of a start as Notre Dame could have hoped for.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go in the history of this early commit period. A lot of times you get commits that are lower ranked and whatnot in the past. They got some heavy hitters. They got some heavy hitters, no doubt about it. And it's funny. I remember when Keeley wasn't even ranked at the beginning, and you had sent me like, "Hey, check out this guy's film," and I was like, "That's going to be a 5-star here in about a year." And sure enough, that guy was. I remember we talked about that, just how explosive he was as a sophomore already. Good football group. You talk about 4 in the top 100. Yeah, we haven't even dipped into quarterback yet. We haven't gotten the wide receivers they're on. Look at who Coach Heastand's already going after, that Coach Quinn. Coach Quinn set up with the offensive line, and just hearing how some of the offensive line recruiting is going to go, it looks like they're going to get some high end football players there. So it's got we've been talking for the last year about that top five, top three. Can it happen? You get the right mixture of a wide receiver, quarterback. I think it definitely can, because they're going to get 3 or 4 high 4 stars, possibly even a 5-star offensive lineman to go with these guys here. You dipped in the defensive tackle pool that Coach Washington's all over right now. So it's a heck of a group, and they need athletes. They need to replenish, because they're going to lose a lot of dudes after this coming season. And there's don't be surprised if a dozen or so of these freshmen are going to be counted on the 2 deep in that when they play Ohio State 2023.
Yep. So there's a good start for your weekend, Notre Dame fans. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video. Go to blueandgold.com for all of your home of Notre Dame football recruiting coverage, especially plenty of stories from myself and Ashton Pollard at blueandgold.com. Appreciate you guys for watching. Have a great weekend, and we will catch you next time.